for Carly Lord on her left. Sensational goal.
Gonna go. Keeper's out. That's empty. LaRue. U.S. leads.
It's offside. It's Raquel. Stopped again by Solo. Woman! Goal number 159. It's the international scoring record. And the U.S. begins this journey to the 2015 World Cup.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to FAU Stadium in beautiful Boca Raton, Florida. It is a beautiful day in South Florida, 84 degrees, not to make the people up north feel jealous, but it is a great day here in South Florida and perfect conditions for a soccer match as your United States women's national team will be taking on Russia in the first of two matches between these two nations. The second match will take place 4 days later in the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, Georgia. It promises to be an interesting match between two teams that have not faced each other in a while. The last time these two nations met in a match, September 29, 2002, back in Uniondale, New York, and the United States winning that match 5-1. And Abby Wambach and Heather O'Reilly, the only two members of the team back then that are on the roster now. Both of those players for this encounter will be very important. Although Abby Wambach will not be starting this match, she is on the bench, and Heather O'Reilly will be in the midfield wearing the number 9. It is going to be quite an atmosphere here at FAU Stadium. The stadium is packed. It is getting more and more crowded as the faithful of the U.S. women's national team get ready to see their team continue what has been an amazing run of form. They are on the U.S. national team. 40-game unbeaten streak in that stretch, 34 wins and 6 draws. It has been absolutely incredible, and when you consider their form at home on U.S. soil, it is even more mind-boggling. 78 games without a loss consecutively at home on U.S. soil. That is a national team record, and they are unbeaten so far in 2014. They've only played one match so far. That was a 1-0 victory versus Canada in Frisco, Texas at Toyota Stadium. The game winner coming by the head, or scored by, I should say, Sydney Leroux in the 78th minute. Sydney Leroux getting the start for Tom Sermani and the Eagles of the United States. As for Russia, they are looking to fine-tune their form and fine-tune their strategy, if you will, as they are looking to qualify for Europe for World Cup, for the 2015 World Cup in Canada, I should say, through the UEFA route. As you well know, they are in Group 1 of their World Cup qualifying campaign, and we'll get into further detail as the match progresses. It is going to be quite an atmosphere here in Boca Raton as the United States takes on Russia for the first time in just about almost 12 years. As I mentioned before, back in 2002, they played in September in Uniondale, New York. The starting lineups being announced, with Hope Solo getting the starting goal. Sydney Leroux, the goal scorer against Canada, getting the start. She will have the number 2 on her back. Becky Sauerbrunn, she was the woman of the match, the Budweiser woman of the match in that game against Canada. She set up the game-winning goal, helped create the assist, or actually had the assist in that match for Sydney Leroux to score. Carly Lloyd wearing the number 10. She's one of the new changes, 4 new changes for the United States from the side that beat Canada 1-0 in Texas. Number 14 also, Stephanie Cox will be an important player in the back. The number 19 is Christy Mewis. Her little sister Samantha will not dress out for this match. And finally, the number 23 is Kristen Press. She gets the start up top as Abby Wambach drops to the bench for this encounter. There are 2 other changes for the U.S. starting 11 for this match in regards to the match against Canada. Christy Rampone, she is the captain wearing number 3. She is in for Whitney Engen, who drops to the bench. And also Christy Mewis will be in the starting 11 for Megan Rapinoe. And now let's take a time to listen to the national anthem of Russia. very few things in this country, in this world, as inspirational, more inspirational than the Star-Spangled Banner. I always get chills and goosebumps when I hear the Star-Spangled Banner. And now it is time for some soccer as Russia, the number 21 ranked team in the FIFA rankings, going up against the number 1 team in the world, the United States, for this encounter. Promises to be a very interesting matchup. The United States, as I mentioned before, they made 4 changes from the side that beat Canada 1-0. In the back, Christy Rampone, the captain, she's in for Whitney Engen. Carly Lloyd, wearing the number 10, is in for Morgan Bryan. Morgan Bryan getting her first start in for the U.S. senior team in that match against Canada. And she will not dress out for this match as the last year's Herman Award winner, getting the start in the match against Canada, but she is replaced by Carly Lloyd. In the midfield, Christy Mewis in for Megan Rapinoe, and Kristen Press wearing the number 23 up top with Sydney Leroux. Kristen Press replacing Abby Wambach. Wambach and Rapinoe on the bench for this encounter. It's going to be an exciting atmosphere, an exciting match as the U.S. take on Russia. The captains for the U.S., as I mentioned before, Christy Rampone wearing the number 3, and the captain of Russia is Ksenia Tisbutovich. She is wearing the number 19. She will be in the defense for the side coached by Sergei Lavrentiev. The 3 officials, the officiating crew, I should say, for this encounter, it's Marie-Soleil Baudouin, in my best French, an all-Canadian crew. Marie-Soleil Baudouin is the head official, with Marie-Josée Charbonneau and Suzanne Morissette as the 3rd official, and Christina Unkel is the 4th official, making sure the benches don't get too out of hand for this matchup. It's going to be a great atmosphere as the stadium here in Boca Raton, FAU Stadium, the home of the Owls, getting ready to witness what the vast majority of people in the stadium hope will be another U.S. victory. In the midfield, getting ready, or in the center circle, I should say, getting ready to start it off, Sydney Leroux and Kristen Press. As Tom Sermani coming out with that 4-4-2. Interesting formation, interesting moves there made by Tom Sermani, with Christy Mewis listed as a defender, but they have her lined up on the left side. And so, ladies and gentlemen, the first half has begun, and early on, a long ball inside, looking for Kristen Press, and the goalkeeper, Elvira Todua, comes up with it. So the United States, in those blue kits with the white sleeves, they will be attacking from left to right, and Russia in the all-red kits with the white numbers, or it appears to be a suntan golden numbers, if you will, with the sun shining in here at FAU Stadium. They will be attacking from right to left. So the United States from left to right, and Russia from right to left. And early on, the United States looking to hold on to possession. Here's Leroux winning the ball, but there is a foul, and the referee, Marie-Soleil Baudouin, gives it back to the United States for possession. And in the back, Becky Sauerbrunn, the number 4, who in the last match against Canada, as I mentioned, was the Budweiser Woman of the match, but also celebrated her 50th cap for the United States. Looking to play it long for O'Reilly. And coming over from her left back position to clear it away is Marina Pushkareva. And Press trying to play it through for O'Reilly. And Pushkareva does an excellent job of clearing it away. The Russians appearing to play in a 4-3-3. A formation very familiar to the Russian side if you go back to their World Cup qualifying campaign so far in UEFA. So it'll be interesting to see how the U.S. break it down. It's a team they're not familiar with, the United States, and that was a bit of an issue, something that Tom Sermani was a little concerned about, and Abby Wambach spoke about it as well, how they will respond, how will they adjust to a team that they do not have much familiarity with. As I mentioned before, last time they played them was almost 12 years ago. We'll see with that 4-3-3 if Russia can neutralize the U.S. attack by holding on to the possession. We shall see. There's a foul early on as going down. It's Lauren Holiday, the number 12, the FC Kansas City player and former UCLA Bruin. So out wide for Stephanie Cox. Leaves it from Mewis. Now back to Sauerbrunn. Sauerbrunn playing it out wide to the number 11, Allie Krieger. Krieger Back to Sauerbrunn. That line playing very high for the United States, but as you might expect, when you have a lot of possession and the athletes, they can afford to do that. As Mewis now looking long, trying to connect with Riley, but it's a little short. As Pushkareva heads it down, and now Sauerbrunn able to clean it up. It looks as if so far early on in these first few minutes that the Russians might try to play the counter here. You see that so far from what I'm seeing, the first few minutes here, the 11 for Russia playing back, trying to play tight defensively to make sure the U.S. with their speed, especially on the wings when you consider O'Reilly and Mewis, and the finishing of LaRue can be very dangerous. So they're going to try to pack the defense tight, try to see if they have what speed advantage they can use to go out on the counter. Here's an opportunity. It's Nelly Korovkina. Korovkina, the number 20. Out wide to the number 16, Elena Kostareva. And she's easily dispossessed. Very smooth and clean tackle by Ali Krieger. Krieger trying to get it to Mewis. And controlling it in the midfield was Lloyd. Over the top looking for LaRue, and it's going to dribble all the way back to Elvira Todua. So the United States, as I mentioned before, 78-game home unbeaten streak on U.S. soil. And they've played very well in Florida. An all-time record in the state of Florida, 17-4-1. And they have scored a lot of goals in the previous matches in Florida. In the last 13 months, they have been in the state of Florida. They've played 4 times. They've actually played 3 times. And they've won all 3 of those matches 4-1. Here's an opportunity. It's O'Reilly. O'Reilly in the area, squaring for LaRue at the top of the 6, cleared away. Sloppy defense, and finally, Todua comes up with it, the goalkeeper for Russia. It appeared to have been a pretty smooth clearance, but a little bit of congestion at the top of the 6, and luckily for the Russians, LaRue was able to get on the end of it and strike it home, and the Russians dodge another bullet from the United States. Winning the header in the midfield was Rampone, the player with the second most caps in the history of the United States, trailing only Christine Lilly. Game number 289 in the great career of Christy Rampone. And that is her on the ball, the number 3. And she drops it back to Sauerbrunn. Hope Solo in goal. Playing well out of her boxes. She certainly has that leeway to do. One of the smarter goalkeepers, one of the smartest goalkeepers in the world, Hope Solo. Many people feel she's the best goalkeeper in the world, although I'm sure Nadine Angerer will have something to say about that, but those things will be settled for sure when the 2015 World Cup rolls around in Canada. But Hope Solo definitely one of the top 2 for sure. Now a set piece opportunity for the United States. They have been able to control most of the possession, keep the attack in their offensive half. And now a dangerous opportunity. This is where Abby Wambach would be dangerous. She's always great with her head. And she is on the bench for this encounter. Tadua, the goalkeeper for Russia, comes out and does well to reel it in before Carly Lloyd and the rest of the U.S. attack could get on to the end of the header. And so far, Elvira Todua, the Russian goalkeeper, the number 1 for Sergei Lavrentiev, doing very well. But she is under a lot of pressure from the United States attack. So we are about 6.5 minutes in, and so far it's been the United States in firm control, but still have yet to find that little bit of connection there to score the opening goal. But they have certainly dominated the possession so far in this match. Now down the left side, well played, is Stephanie Cox. Easier for Mewis. Mewis on that left side, but has the ability, has the freedom to roam through the middle. And she tries to work with Carly Lloyd. It's Lauren Holiday on the ball. Holiday gets it back to Sauerbrunn. Sauerbrunn in the middle for Lloyd, wearing the number 10. And playing it down that right side, and it's going to be chased down by O'Reilly. O'Reilly has the room in the area. Mewis by herself. Great move by O'Reilly, squaring, looking for Mewis, and cleared away. And some desperate defending there. That's Valentina Orlova, the number 3 of Russia, clearing it away last second, but Heather O'Reilly is turning out to be very dangerous down that far right side, the right side I should say. Now here's a chance from the left side. The shot deflected, and it's going to be a corner kick for the United States. So it appears to be a corner kick. I thought it was a corner kick, but it is the referee, Marie-Soleil Baudouin, says it is a goal kick. I thought it took a deflection for a corner kick after the shot was sent in by Kristen Press. But the referee says nope, it is a goal kick, and that is the case, as Russia will get a chance to regain possession and see what they can do. As the ball is won in the air, well done by Carly Lloyd. And Lloyd, an important playmaker as well. Her and Mewis on the left, and Lloyd in that right middle channel, if you will. They will be important playmakers in holding up the ball for the U.S. attack. Now down the far left side, that is Stephanie Cox. Sauerbrunn with a head up looking. LaRue in between the center backs of Tizbutovic and Orlova, but can't quite get the service. Finally she gets it. And Press out wide to Mewis. Press continues to run toward the corner. Mewis with a great pass, and now it's Kristen Press. Press in the area. Service for LaRue, a little too tall for the number 2. Headed out by Ala Sodorovskaya. And regaining possession is the United States. This is the kind of new style for the United States. They want to hold on to the possession. In the past, they've always had a bit of an athletic advantage, but now with the evolution of the game in so many other countries using more creativity and more players that have those skills on the ball, the U.S. trying to evolve in that way as well, and seemingly a very, very smooth transition for the U.S. as Tom Sermani has incorporated a lot of young players, and still the U.S. continues to win. And Tom Sermani, in his short term as the coach of the United States, has never lost. 14-0-3 in the 17 previous matches that the Scotsman has coached the United States national team. Remember, he took over for Pia Sundhage, and Pia Sundhage now leading the Swedish national team in her homeland of Sweden. As LaRue putting some pressure on the back on the captain, Tizbutovic. Now it's played out wide for Pushkareva. Pushkareva harassed by O'Reilly, and it's well done by O'Reilly, but she's offside. Kristen Press and O'Reilly did a fantastic job of winning the ball, but O'Reilly just a little too quick, and it is offsides against the United States. But you can see that aggression. You can see how well they're going to press that back line, as it appears that that Russian back line is a little shaky right now. With O'Reilly, pretty much so far, she has been very good. She has been able to dominate and beat Pushkareva one-on-one and get around her fairly easily in these first 11 minutes, as we are in the 11th minute of this match. So it's still 0-0 here at FAU Stadium, this beautiful stadium on the campus of Florida Atlantic University in Boca Raton in Palm Beach County in South Florida. A beautiful day, and I have to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, from my viewpoint, I can see the ocean. That is why the United States made a U.S. Soccer Association made a very good move to have this game here. And the stadium is great, and the crowd is in full voice. It is quite an atmosphere here in Boca Raton at the FAU Stadium on the campus, as I mentioned before, Florida Atlantic University. Now down the far side, it's Cox leaving it for Mewis, and Sauerbrunn with a lot of space, head up looking. O'Reilly, and Krieger didn't make the run down the right side, but O'Reilly does. Great passing there. Now Heather O'Reilly with another opportunity. Squares inside, looking for Mewis. She was closing in, but Elvira Todua, the goalkeeper for Russia, very active in these first few minutes. The United States dominating the attack so far, dominating the possession. They have not allowed Russia to break out quickly on any counterattacks. And so far, this pace favors the United States. Now it's just a matter of finishing. They've been able to work the spaces and pass very well in those spaces early in this match, especially down the right side of the U.S. attack with Heather O'Reilly wearing the number 9 and Ali Krieger. It's been a very good triangulation, if you will, if you want to use that expression, between O'Reilly Kristen Press and Ali Krieger at that right back position. Oh, here's a turn, and Sydney Leroux is breaking through. Leroux cuts it back toward the middle, has to slow it down, and Mewis. Overlapping is Cox. Mewis holds it up, now sends in the service, looking inside for O'Reilly, and it's a little too long for O'Reilly, but it does take a touch off of a Russian player, and we have another corner kick for the United States. Let's see what they can do here to get the opening goal of this match. And the crowd here at FAU Stadium, they are excited every time the U.S. gets near the penalty area. You can just feel the energy rise in the crowd. It is going to be the number 12, Lauren Holiday, to take this corner, right-footed, outswinger. Leroux losing the aerial duel to Elena Morozova, the number 23 of Russia, but U.S. retains it. It's Mewis again. Mewis, service, far post, a little too far, but Riley heads it down. It's going to fall for Sauerbrunn. Sauerbrunn has to drop it back to Holiday. Holiday with the shot, and it's just wide. And the United States missing a golden opportunity to really test Elvira Todua in between the sticks for Russia. So an interesting first 14 minutes for the U.S. as they have been able to dominate this match. They're dominating the possession, the shots, everything. They just haven't yielded that goal yet. It was something that was a little bit of a concern, although Canada much tougher opponent than Russia, I should say. But how would the U.S. figure out an opponent that they are not very familiar with? Well, it didn't take them that long, at least from my view. It didn't take them that long. It was just a matter of finishing, as it appears that the Russians, especially when the U.S. get deep into their attacking third, they just drop back numbers and try to hold off. Hope Solo finally getting a touch. He has had zero to do in these first 14 and a half, just over 14 and a half minutes of this game. Sauerbrunn back to Krieger. Krieger almost pinned on the near side, but dribbles it out, and then Carly Lloyd. Lots of space, quick movements through the midfield for the U.S. Lloyd out wide to Mewis. It is Stephanie Cox overlapping. U.S. saw Lloyd making the run through the left middle channel as well. A couple of options for Christy Mewis. And the Russians tighten up, and it's going to be a throw for the United States as Carly Lloyd settles it now through the midfield. Holiday back to Sauerbrunn. Ali Krieger, the Rutgers University Scarlet Knight, wearing the number 11. Excuse me, that's Ali Krieger is from Penn State, I should say. Carly Lloyd, the number 10, is from Rutgers. Make sure I make that clear. O'Reilly for Press, the shot goes into the stands. Kristen Press, plenty of space for the shot there. Maybe should have settled it a little more, maybe run at the defense a little bit, but still you have to like the aggressiveness of the number 23, Kristen Press. The Stanford Cardinal, currently playing in Sweden with Tireso. Press along with Whitney Engen, two players with the Swedish side. They are currently participating in the UEFA Women's Champions League, and when Tireso is eliminated at whatever stage that is, they are currently in the quarterfinals, they will return to the United States to play in the NWSL, with Engen being allocated to the Houston Dash, the 9th franchise of the NWSL. Oh, there's a sweet move by Carly Lloyd for Leroux. Now back out to Krieger wearing the number 11. Here's O'Reilly on the wing. Krieger almost makes the thorough run, but instead O'Reilly service inside, crashing in with the header. That was Holiday, but the defense of Russia tightens up last second as Orlova able to win the defensive header. And then great play by Rampone to win the ball back. And now O'Reilly with a ton of space on the right side in the penalty area. Takes the shot! Dua. And once again, the United States, it's Heather O'Reilly right now on the right side. They have no answer for her on the right side of the U.S. attack. The left side of the Russian defense. And the number 2, Marina Pushkareva, she's going to need some help because right now Heather O'Reilly is dominating that one-on-one matchup. But to finish the point about the two Swedish club players, Engen and Kristen Press, Express will be allocated to the Chicago Red Stars to wrestle's Champions League, UEFA Women's Champions League obligations are complete, whether it's elimination in the quarterfinals all the way to the final. When those obligations are over, she will return to the States to play for the Chicago Red Stars, the number 23 of the United States. Sauerbrunn to O'Reilly. It seems like every time a defender in the back, either Rampone or Sauerbrunn, gets a touch onto it, there is an open U.S. player. The Russians not really pressing too hard in the midfield and not putting any pressure on that back line as well, and that is leaving things very, very comfortable for the U.S., especially in defense. Look at all 10 U.S. offensive attacking or outfield players, I should say. They are in the attacking half right now. That is how comfortable the U.S. feel going forward in attack, and very little threat in the counterattack the Russians have posed so far in this match. This is Tadua, the goalkeeper, Elvira Tadua. And finally a chance for Russia in their attacking half as the long ball by Nelly Gorovkina. Looking to play the ball through to the number 17, Ekaterina Pantyukina. But the pass a little too long, and Hope Solo with her second touch of the game. She hasn't had to use her hands yet. And the U.S. very comfortable so far in defense. Oh, there's a steal in the midfield by Sidorovskaya, the number 13. Now looking to play it out wide, it's the number 16, Elena Kostareva. Looking inside, trying to connect out wide to Elena Tereshkova. And nothing going there. U.S. on that rare occasion dropping back enough numbers, and Russia not pushing up enough numbers, and no concerns defensively for the U.S. in that particular sequence. But now Russia looking to see what they can do to kind of settle things after being under barrage from the U.S. attack in the first 19 minutes of this game. Here is a chance to the midfield. There's the turn, the shot, and it's kept out by Hope Solo. It looked like it was going to go wide, but Hope Solo doesn't take any chances. And the first shot of the game for Russia comes off of the boot of the number 20, Nelly Gorovkina. Gorovkina, number 20, the midfielder. Plays professional for CSB Izmailovo. There's Sydney LaRue wearing the number 2. She leaves it for Kristen Press. Inside, a little bit of confusion. Lewis crashes in. Heather O'Reilly, open net! Kept out last second off of the line. U.S. still in a dangerous attacking position. O'Reilly settles it. There's Carly Lloyd. She loses control as a Russian player goes down. And the U.S. continues forward. They're going to knock the ball out. And Russian player is down. It appears to be the number 13, Alla Sidorovskaya. Won't confirm that for you, but still very dangerous as that ball was cleared off of the line by Ekaterina Dimitrenko. It's the number 10 of Russia, Elena Tereshkova, that was on the ground. And good to see her up and walking. She appears to be okay. Slight limp, but she's going to walk it off. And it is the United States in firm control of this match. 21 and a half minutes in, the United States dominating pretty much every statistical category so far, just haven't yielded that one last goal. That has been the final touch that's been missing so far in what has been a dominant performance in the first half. As I mentioned before, fourth time in the last 13 months, I should say, that the United States has played in the state of Florida. And the 3 previous times have ended in 4-1 victories. Back in the final game of 2012, at this very stadium, they beat China 4-1. In February of 2013, in Jacksonville, they beat Scotland 4-1. And then the final match of the 2013 season, they beat Brazil 4-1 in Orlando. Looking to make it Another possible 4-1 result here at FAU again. We shall see. And it's looking like it might happen. We have to see what happens obviously over the course of the next 68 minutes. If they can continue to push forward and keep Russia pinned down in their defensive half and keep the ball possession in the offensive half for the United States, then you could see the goals flying in very, very soon. Lauren Holiday getting it into the midfield circle out to Sauerbrunn. And for the United States, almost every player has gotten multiple touches as the header not well done by Dimitrenko to clear it away, basically passing it to Mewis. Mewis inside for press. Back to Mewis. Mewis turning with the shot. O'Reilly settles it at the top of the 6. O'Reilly wavering toward the penalty area. And now driving in Carly Lloyd. She can't get the shot off as the Russian defense just tightening up at the very last second. Mewis with the service inside, trying to get it to LaRue over the head of the UCLA Bruin and headed out by Pushkareva, and it's another corner kick for the United States. Quickly taken by O'Reilly. O'Reilly still with it. She has been impossible to dispossess in this match. There's a service sent in. Tried the snap header for Carly Lloyd. It goes over the line, and Russia able to dodge another U.S. attack. Carly Lloyd wearing the number 10 in her 163rd international appearance for the United States. And so far, she has had a major influence in this match wearing that number 10 shirt. As I mentioned before, she gets the start in place of Morgan Bryan after Morgan Bryan got the start in that playmaking role against Canada. Here's an opportunity for Russia down the right side. As Hope Solo is unable to keep it in for the United States, and so Russia will finally get a corner kick, their first one of the match, after Ekaterina, the number 17, Ekaterina Pantukhina, sent in the ball to no one in particular, but it was still a dangerous chance for Russia. Here's a service, defensive header cleared away by Sydney Leroux, and now settled in the midfield by the number 10, Elena Terekova. And Russia unable to control it, and now Leroux looking to break out quickly. Played over the top, well done, but a little too long for Carly Lloyd. But that was the right idea. Great vision there by Kristen Press to try to pick out Lloyd. It was the right idea, but the pass a little too long. And Russia will once again get an opportunity. Now Russia's this might be the start of a chance for them to build up the possession. And as I see that, Dimitrenko stumbles. And now a chance for Pantukhina. And the Russians, they're having problems handling the ball. They haven't been able to get clean touches on the ball. Here's a chance over the top. And Todua able to head it out before Press can latch on to it. And then a little bit of a mistake in the back, and the Russians, maybe they're starting to buckle under the U.S. pressure here. As Todua getting caught a little too far out and looking a little not too comfortable. Heather O'Reilly does a fantastic job to dispossess Korovkina. And now it's Mewis. Mewis out wide to Cox. Cox looking to play it inside to either Press or Leroux, the two players in the penalty area, but coming over is Sidorovskaya. And the U.S. will have to reset their attack. Here's a long distance effort, low brass cutting shot that goes wide. And no concerns for Todua in between the sticks for Russia. Russians in Group 1 of UEFA Women's World Cup qualifying. Obviously the tournament taking place next year in 2015 in Canada. And they are struggling right now. Third place in their group behind Ireland and Germany. And the Germans, obviously the reigning European champions. I think it's safe to say, ladies and gentlemen, that the Germans will be in the 2015 World Cup. That is a near certainty. Still a lot of matches left, but talking about one of the world powers in all of world football, world soccer. Obviously, they're not number one. That's right now the United States. They'll have a CONCACAF World Cup qualifying tournament to play as well. That's going to be later on this year. But I'm going to say with certainty, I have full confidence that the U.S. will qualify and try to win a World Cup. We haven't won the World Cup since 1999. That was the famous team. You all know that team, Chastain and Mayhem, Michelle Akers, those great players. Haven't won a World Cup since then. And it was a heartbreaking loss in 2011 to Japan in that final. Here is Russia sending in the free kick. They had an opportunity there with Morozova sending in the service. And it appears that we have an offsides against the Russians, so the U.S. will regain possession. Hope Solo having to do a little bit of work over the last 3 or 4 minutes, but nothing overly concerning for the unquestioned number 1 and former Washington Husky, currently with the Seattle Reign. Great pass into space. This is Lloyd. Lloyd cuts inside, beautiful move, it's Lloyd! Carly Lloyd! Oh, beautiful move by the number 10. She cut it back inside and roofs the shot, and the United States finally get their deserved goal, and it's the number 10, Carly Lloyd, with her 47th international goal. And ladies and gentlemen, that was a thing of beauty. Beautiful movement off the ball by Lloyd and easily around the Russian defense, and they finally score. And the United States, a deserved 1-0 advantage over Russia with a 29th minute goal by Carly Lloyd. And you can kind of see that goal coming, because on the right side, the assist by Heather O'Reilly, those two had been playing that right side perfectly. Space is opening up all throughout the first half, and Heather O'Reilly sending Carly Lloyd through, and Lloyd able to very deceptively, very quickly with those quick feet get into the penalty area and roof a shot that Elvira Tadua could not stop, and the United States finally getting their 1-0 advantage. It took them about 29 minutes to break down that Russian defense, finally break it down for a goal. But when you consider how the attack was building up, it was only a matter of time, and it came relatively quickly as the United States takes the 1-0 advantage over Russia. Great crowd-pleasing goal there by Carly Lloyd, and Heather O'Reilly with a magnificent assist as well, as O'Reilly, the former Tar Heel, connects with the former Scarlet Knight, and it is 1-0 for the United States. O'Reilly playing with the Boston Breakers in the NWSL, and Lloyd with the Western New York Flash. Little northeastern connection in the professional terms, if you will, and because of the professional clubs, leading to the first U.S. goal. Hope Solo finally having to make a save as the Russians tried to respond quickly. Under 15 minutes remaining in the first half, and the United States finally taking that 1-0 advantage with a goal by Carly Lloyd. She's on the ball now. She leaves it for Lauren Holiday. Holiday looking to get it out wide for O'Reilly. Right now, early on, and as I mentioned, we under 15 minutes left. I have to say right now that O'Reilly is the player of the game, the woman of the match so far, in my opinion. She has been excellent on that right side and has absolutely blitzed the Russian defense. Let's see if they can continue to exploit that and really put away the Russians here at FAU Stadium. LaRue in a foot race. She wins the foot race over Dimitrenko. Now LaRue is in the area. LaRue pushed back, has to drop it to Mewis. Mewis able to keep it in, getting it to Stephanie Cox. Cox to Holiday, back to Mewis. Cox overlapping. It's Mewis with the service inside. The snap header looking for the number 9. Then we get a goal. It's Heather O'Reilly in the right place at the right time. She missed the header, but she was in the right place to strike it home. And the United States, in a span of 2 minutes, scoring 2 goals. And it is game on at FAU Stadium as the United States, Heather O'Reilly, finally getting a goal. And the number 9 with her 38th international goal in her 195th international match, her 195th cap. In the United States, they are on cruise control right now. They have figured out that Russian defense, and they score. And so for the Russians entering the game, the number 18, it is Elena Medved, and she is replacing the number 2, Marina Pushkareva. And Heather O'Reilly is the reason for that substitution. Pushkareva on the left side of the Russian attack cannot keep Heather O'Reilly in front of her, and so Sergei Lavrentiev, the coach of Russia, decides to put in Elena Medved to try and see what she can do to slow down Heather O'Reilly. So a substitution 32 minutes in, and it is Elena Medved that comes on for Pushkareva, as Pushkareva just could not handle Heather O'Reilly on the right side of the U.S. attack. Let's see if the hunger for goal continues and the U.S. pushes, as the U.S. pushes for a third goal. Here's LaRue.
Replaced by number 18, Elena.
Drops it back for Lloyd. Lloyd, the author of the first goal, set up by Heather O'Reilly. And Heather O'Reilly is making me look good, as I mentioned. To me, so far, she's been the player of the game, the woman of the match, and a couple seconds after I said that, she scores. So thank you, Heather. You're making me look good up here for this broadcast. She's having a spectacular game on the right side of the attack for the United States. And now Carly Lloyd, the touch to Kristen Press. Press back to O'Reilly. O'Reilly sees Holiday in the area. Holiday can't get the turn as Sydney LaRue was at the penalty spot. Sauerbrunn with the header. Back to Kristen Press and O'Reilly. A lot of space on the right side. Service inside. The header almost connecting with Kristen Press. It was the right pass. Kristen Press just a step late. And if she gets in front of Todua, it is 3-0 for the United States. And that on that particular occasion, it was the number 18 Medved who got caught a little too far inside, and O'Reilly was able to exploit and get that pass forward to Kristen Press, or at least intended for Kristen Press. And it's still 2-0 at this point, but the United States certainly could have about 2 or 3 more goals, or actually 2 more goals. As we approach halftime, it has been a dominant performance so far for the United States as they lead Russia 2-0. This is the first of 2 games between these 2 nations. The second game will take place on February the 12th in Atlanta in the Georgia Dome before the United States get ready to take on the rest of the world, if you will, at the Algarve Cup. That will be a major tune-up for World Cup qualifying, and then obviously the 2015 World Cup. And ultimately, those 2 tournaments, World Cup qualifying, or I should say the Algarve Cup and the 2015 World Cup, those will be the 2 tournaments that will ultimately decide and be the judging, if you will, of Tom Sermanni's time as the coach of the United States. Those are the 2 tournaments that will define his tenure as coach of the United States. Will they reascend to the summit of world football, world soccer, by winning the World Cup? As Mewis almost getting through a couple of Russian players, as Dimitrenko and Morozova eventually dispossessing Mewis, but she took a bit of a stumble on the way down. The U.S. quickly regaining possession. It's amazing to see how quickly the U.S. regained possession. Don't know if it's because of their ability to press the Russian attack, Russian midfield, or if the Russian midfield just maybe a little nervous and haven't been able to hold on to the ball as much as I'm sure their coach, Sergei Lavrentiev, would like. And this is an opportunity. Lloyd, plenty of space right up the middle, takes the shot. What a golazo! Oh, brilliant goal by Carly Lloyd. She has 2 in this game. They gave her all kinds of space at the top of the penalty area. Oh, and that's a right-footed rocket from Carly. And it is 3-0 the United States. Oh, this is truly a dominant performance. They are definitely taking it to the Russians at this point. And it is Carly Lloyd with a fantastic goal. We give the number 10 that much space, that much time, and the technique is flawless, and there was nothing Elvira Todua could do. And the United States, they have this game after about 37 minutes, close to 37 and a half minutes. It appears that they will have this victory locked down Now it's just a matter of margin of victory. What a fantastic strike. As they say, a golazo by Carly Lloyd, the number 10, her second of the match. And the United States rampaging for a fourth. Will they get it as Mewis cuts it back. Finally plays it to Sauerbrunn. Sauerbrunn attacking the Russian midfield and now leaves it out wide for Krieger. And O'Reilly thought that Sauerbrunn was in a different area, but the U.S. quickly recovered. The passing by Russia has just been sloppy. It's been a problem for them to get and string together maybe 3 or 4 passes. And that has played right into the hands of the U.S., or I should say right into the boots of the U.S. as Terekova saw Pantukina at the top of the formation, but she was squeezed in between Sauerbrunn and Rampone, and U.S. regained possession. So 2 goals by Carly Lloyd and a goal by Heather O'Reilly. The difference right now between the United States and Russia here at FAU Stadium, and I'm sure the fans here in Boca Raton are extremely pleased with the way the U.S. have come out in this match. Tom Sermani very relaxed on the bench as he witnesses Krieger, and that one service intended looking for LaRue, and almost tucks it in that far post, but it just sails long. And in Russia with a chance here to see what they can do as we approach halftime. Spectacular performance by the United States. And for the fans here at FAU Stadium, they're hoping that
A correction on the last
will
assist.
continue to pour in. We shall see.
To number 15,
And the encouraging sign for the fans of the U.S. is that they're able to do this against a team that they don't know much about. That was a little bit of a concern coming in, the unfamiliarity with Russia and how they would play. But it seems like they figured things out very quickly. And maybe the mentality was, we're just going to play this way, and if they stop us, they stop us. If they don't, well, we're going to score 3 goals in about 30 minutes or 35 minutes. So I like that second strategy. Be aggressive, play your game, and when you have the talent that the U.S. has, it's usually going to come out with a impressive performance, and that is the case so far between the U.S. and Russia. Under 5 minutes remaining here in the first half, and O'Reilly with the pass to Kristen Press, and Mewis takes the shot, and Padua with a fairly comfortable save. LaRue is trying to see what she can do, making an angled run to the left of Mewis, but U.S. goes for the shot. She had the space, so that appeared to be the right decision. Sydney LaRue, very quiet first half for the U.S. up top. She scored that game winner against Canada, but I'm sure she's not going to be upset. Her team is winning 3-0, and I'm sure that in the second half, she's going to have a much bigger influence as the Russian defense starts to maybe creep up a little bit and try to see what they can do to slow down O'Reilly and Lloyd. Here's LaRue dropping back deeper, looking to see how much more impact and influence she can have on the game as she drops back to get a couple more touches on the ball. Certainly, she's wide open in the middle, but eventually played out wide, which has been the smart move in this match, especially the way O'Reilly's played. Look at that touch there, and O'Reilly is free in the area. O'Reilly looking for press in the heart of the box, but cleared away. But the U.S. still recover, and quickly Krieger gave it away to Morozova, who gave it back to Carly Lloyd. And now Mewis with a smooth little touch there, and then tried to create the opportunity, getting on the left boot, but it goes wide. Christy Mewis, former Boston College Eagle, currently playing with the Boston Breakers. Her younger sister Samantha was called up to the squad by Tom Sermani, but did not dress for this match. On the bench for the United States for this encounter, the backup goalkeeper Nicole Barnhart, with Whitney Engen, Amy Rodriguez, Megan Rapinoe, Rachel Van Hollebeck, Erica Timrak, and Abby Wambach. That's a pretty impressive bench there, especially when you have Wambach and Rapinoe to count on off of the bench. We'll see if they get any playing time considering the 3-0 result so far, as Tadua comes way off of her line to clear it away, but it was an offside as Kristen Press, number 23, pushing forward. Don't suspect that there will be too much stoppage time added on in the first half here by the referee Marie-Soleil Baudouin. It was a little bit of a stoppage because of Terekova going to the ground, but I would suspect that the maximum would be just a minute. And Tadua, long ball, searching, looking for the number 20, Korovkina, but the U.S. easily recovers. And now the patient passing game of the Eagles, of the Stars and Stripes, coming together here. O'Reilly trying to make herself available, the number 9, but Sauerbrunn drops it back to Christy Rampone. Rampone to Mewis. And there's the number 12, Lauren Holiday. Holiday to O'Reilly. O'Reilly able to beat her marker. Now O'Reilly looking dangerous, gets it to Mewis. Mewis thought about getting it to LaRue on to her left, but instead drops it back to O'Reilly. And now it's Carly Lloyd, who has a brace in this game. LaRue to Mewis. Mewis thought about taking the shot, then squares it back to LaRue. LaRue with some space to turn the shot, and Tadua makes a save. And Cindy LaRue in the 45th minute finally gets a shot on goal, and plenty of space and time for LaRue, and it's an accurate shot, but Tadua comes up with a big save. So we will have 2 minutes of stoppage time in this first half. A dominant performance by the United States in the first half here at FAU Stadium in Boca Raton, Florida, as the United States on the verge of making it 18-4-1 all time in the Sunshine State. This one played out wide and a little too long for Mewis. Mewis very, very underappreciated first half. Hasn't scored, but certainly has done well to hold the possession in the midfield for the United States. And her contributions might not be seen in the stat sheet, but certainly very important in the United States gaining this 3-0 advantage against Russia here in the first half.
The referee is
As Becky Sauerbrunn drops it to the captain, Captain Christie. There is Mewis. Christy Mewis in her 11th cap for the United States. That infusion of new young talent coming in, as she is one of the future stars for the United States. Christy Mewis wearing the number 19 for the team in blue and white, the Stars and Stripes. And the U.S. absolutely dominant here in the first half. Holiday over the top. Flag stays down as O'Reilly keeps it in. Now it's O'Reilly open in the area as press. Instead, it's flicked in for LaRue, and Mewis is going to chase it down. And then she sends in the square. The shot! Oh, off the crossbar! Carly Lloyd almost gets a hat trick. And finally, the Russians settle it. Oh, Carly Lloyd with a fantastic opportunity that went off of the crossbar. And she almost gets her hat trick before the end of the first half. And there is a Russian player down. It appears to be Valentina Orlova. And look at the shot there by Lloyd. Great effort by the number 10 to get that one on the frame, and she almost comes up with a massive hat trick. It is the number 3, Valentina Orlova. And she appears to be okay. She's going to run off, and good to see that she's okay. One of the 2 central defenders for Russia, along with the captain, Ksenia Sibutovic. And Tadua has been very busy in the first half in the Russian net. And the United States able to regain possession after Pantyukina unable to control it. And just clearing it up the park is the number 7, Ekaterina Dimitrenko. And Hope Solo is going to send this one in. And this will probably be the final kick of the first half, and maybe not. As Sauerbund pushing forward. And that will do it, ladies and gentlemen. It has been an explosive first half, completely dominated by the United States. 2 goals by Carly Lloyd and Heather O'Reilly with a goal sandwiched in between the 2 Carly Lloyd goals. And the Stars and Stripes, the Eagles, have the 3-0 advantage over Russia at halftime. You can have more from FAU Stadium here on ussoccer.com after this quick package review of the women's national team.
Nike Soccer builds the legacy of TFO with the needs of the modern game to create the best leather boot to date. The Nike TFO 5, a boot that brings new innovation to the pitch. Now available at nike.com/soccer. Allstate, proud sponsor of the U.S. men's and women's national teams. Are you in good hands? AT&T covers more than 99% of all Americans, which makes it easy for you to connect with family and friends. AT&T, rethink possible. Budweiser is proud to sponsor U.S. soccer and today's game. Fans, reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser, the great American lager. Century 20.
Well, in South Florida, in preparation for its match on February 8th against Russia at FAU Stadium, the U.S. women's national team is training here at the historic Lockhart Stadium. U.S. head coach Tom Sermanni has been on the job for just over a year, but as it turns out, he's been here before.
Well, in 1978, when I was very much younger than I am now, we were on a post-season tour with Blackpool FC, who I played for at that time, and we came here to play Fort Lauderdale Strikers, and we played on this very field. I remember Gordon Banks, the famous English goalkeeper, was in goal for Fort Lauderdale. I remember that the Fort Lauderdale team came on the field on an open-deck, double-decker English bus, which for someone coming from the UK at that time was a bit bizarre. There was a great crowd here because, you know, we didn't know an awful lot about US soccer at that time, or soccer in the US. There's a tremendous crowd, and it was about the show as well, because back in the UK in those days, you played at 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. There was no rigmarole, no show, basically. And then you came here and there was show and there was stuff going on, and it was just amazing. It was a real eye-opener. I remember we had Blackpool is famous for rock, candy over there, and we brought stocks of rock and threw them into the crowd, which you know, got the crowd on our side a little bit. And I remember missing an opportunity in the second half to score against Gordon Banks. So I've been in the central midfield, played the ball wide to my friend Dave Hockaday, who was lightning quick in those days. He's flown past the full-back, got close to the byline. I've made a late run into the penalty area, a little bit deeper. He's cut the ball back to me as I've gone in, and I've tried to put it past Gordon Banks like that. But unfortunately, I put it in row 15 of the stand. No goalkeeper in goal. I've managed to put it between the posts.
I'm day one, no crutches, which is like moving onward and upward, which is awesome. But I was on crutches for 6 weeks, which was really hard because I definitely needed to ask for help a lot. I was a little helpless. I couldn't even carry a plate or a drink or whatever it was. It was like the little things that you don't realize, and obviously being an athlete, we don't reach out for help that often. We're kind of do-it-ourselves type of people, so it was an adjustment for me. Me and my crutches kind of went through an emotional roller coaster. I thought I was going to run them over after I was done using them, but they're still in my room, just sitting there patiently. I didn't expect when I sprained my ankle back in October, late October, that it would come to this. And that was the hardest part for me, was kind of doubting myself, like, well, you know, why didn't I take it easier? Why didn't I kind of pull myself out of training or out of a game? But you can't look back, you kind of just need to look forward. It was definitely hard, but I feel like now that I'm actually seeing improvement, we just got an MRI, and it kind of helps me a little bit mentally to be able to do bike a little bit, to be able to swim. I wasn't able to do anything on crutches, so now knowing that there's improvement, I'm able to do some stuff, I feel a lot more, I guess, happy. The second time I was told I had to go on crutches, that was 3 weeks after I'd already been on crutches. I was positive that I was coming off crutches. I didn't even think there was another option, and we got a repeat MRI, and they said, we haven't seen improvement and you need to be on crutches for at least 3 more weeks. And that's when I kind of took a deep breath and was like, oh wow, like I didn't even know that this was a possibility. Finally, after talking with my friends and family and being around them a lot, I realized that, you know, it's whatever it is, it's meant to be. You know, I need a break and I need my body to rest. I'm hoping to be out of the boot in 2 weeks, and we're gonna do another repeat MRI in 4 weeks. So we're really hoping that in 4 weeks, my bone is healed. There's no signs of a bone bruise or any of that sort. I want to be back for preseason with the Thorns. I want to be able to, you know, play a game with the national team in the next 2 months. It's really nice being with the team here in Florida and just being around this sort of environment. It's very unique, and I have a lot of good friends on this team, so it's great just being around them every day. And Dawn and Rick, our trainer and fitness coach, are kicking my butt.
My favorite sport in the Winter Olympics is the bobsledding. Well, it's actually kind of tied because I like the bobsledding, but I also really like the speed skating. Go figure. Forward. We like the speed skating power. Yeah.
The ski jump. I'm always fascinated why people are brave enough to go down that impossible slope and fly off the end into the sky.
Snowboarding and like free skate. Go down the thing and then like shh. That's ski jumping. Like, no, the real high one, like the like.
Of course, snowboarding. Sean White's from San Diego, woohoo! And he is a stud. Many people don't know this, but I was a state champion in the downhill, so I feel like I really connect with those athletes. So, unfortunately, I couldn't be there because of my duties here. I mean, I probably would have made the team, but I'm cheering them on anyways. Go USA!
Wait, did you really? No, of course not.
My favorite is probably be a little bit more graceful. I like the ice
graceful.
the dainty hands.
Curling. I love curling. It's fun to watch them go down the ice with their little brushes.
I'm so excited to watch USA women's hockey go for gold. Good luck, girls.
Good luck, everyone.
Good luck, have fun, enjoy it, take it for what it is.
Good luck, USA and Sochi.
You can do it. Bring home the
Anna.
gold.
Well, obviously the level of crossing in the women's game, especially international game, has got a lot better. We did a session out here the other day where it was, you know, getting the numbers in there. I mean, we were putting a team manager in there, the kit man in there, obviously the keepers that weren't working were in there, plus the dummies. So what we're looking at, obviously starting position, where the crosses are coming from, changing their position slightly to make sure they're reading the ball in to start with. Obviously we're still doing the technique work, you know, what's the best way to attack the cross, getting in front of the player, then how they're dealing with it once they get up there, you know, getting out of the pressure, technique for punching. So, you know, the basic stuff, but obviously dealing with the different types of balls that come in now, pace on the ball, movement of the ball, because as I say, at this level, we're definitely seeing better crosses now.
My philosophy in the women's game is you have to be great at coming out for balls in the box. The game's progressing, goalkeepers are progressing, and we're getting better and better. For me, it's reading the flight of the ball, not coming out too early, coming out just at the right time, finding my path to the ball and then going up strong. If I get hit, well then hopefully all my training in the weight room pays off, and then going up against players like Abby in practice pays off in the big tournaments.
Crosses is a lot of work. It's just all about timing and your footwork and being patient. I think that's the hardest discipline, is just being patient and just judging the flight of the ball, how many players are in the box, the spin on it, if it's bending. There's a lot of things that go into crosses.
A lot of young goalkeepers, as soon as they see the flight of the ball, they're taking a step towards it. And we still deal with those issues because you want to go and win it. You want to go and get it at the highest point. So you can teach that part, but then when you add the pressure, you still want to go and get it as early as you can.
I think the biggest thing is just repetition. You've got to, every keeper's different, so you've got to find what works for you as far as positioning and just getting an early read on the ball. And I think the more reps you get, the better early read you can get to get a good line to the ball.
You make a lot of mistakes and you realize I can't do that anymore. That's how I learned. I was very aggressive in college and kind of have to tone it back now because players are a lot more skilled, able to bend the ball and really pick people out. So it's a lot of repetitions and game experience, and just in training be able to analyze it afterward and just say, was that a good decision or a bad decision, and just learn from that.
If you have a goalkeeper confident enough to come out for crosses, it gives you a chance to win the major tournaments. If you don't, I don't believe you have a chance.
This is the first time I'm going to sign autographs as Rachel Van Hollaback. Not quite sure what I'm going to do. We'll see what comes out, but I'm kind of excited. All right. I'm signing Rachel Van Hollaback now. That's my new jersey name. All right, you are really special because you got the first Rachel Van Hollaback signature. Oh my God, thank you so much. It's not natural yet. It's not natural. The L, after the L, it's too much. Well, it says my whole name, so I put it on there. I got confused. Yeah. Well, Van Hollaback's feeling good. I just need a little more practice. I need to come up with the flow.
Visa. Dingley Solar is a proud sponsor of U.S. Soccer and wants to remind you that you can go solar for as little as zero money down. Dingley helped Mia Hamm score major savings with solar energy. Now it's your turn. Visit dingleysolar.com/soccer for your free solar quote. The Palm Beach County Sports Commission is proud to partner with U.S. Soccer to sponsor today's game. Palm Beach County is the ultimate sports paradise with incomparable world-class sports venues, training facilities, and amazing tropical climate year-round. To learn more about upcoming sports events and opportunities in Palm Beach County, visit palmbeachsports.com. AT&T covers more than 99% of all Americans, which makes it easy for you to connect with family and friends. With AT&T's network, you're never far. Rethink possible. The U.S. men's national team returns to action on Wednesday, March 5th in an international friendly against Ukraine. For details, visit ussoccer.com. Don't miss the Fort Lauderdale Strikers, your professional soccer team, on opening day. Your Strikers take on the NASL's newest team, the Ottawa Fury FC, at Lockhart Stadium on April 12th. Tickets start as low as $12 in advance. Get your season tickets today by calling 954-606-0400 or visit strikers.com. The U.S. women's national team returns to action this Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. in a rematch against Russia, this time in Atlanta. For details and to see it live, visit ussoccer.com. Fans, please turn to the video board for highlights from the first half of today's game.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the United States versus Russia from FAU Stadium. Let's get straight to the first half highlights, and it was the U.S. dominating from the beginning. The opening goal of the match was the number 10, Carly Lloyd, getting a great pass from Heather O'Reilly, and it's 1-0 for the United States. The pressure would continue to buckle the Russian defense. 32nd minute, it is Heather O'Reilly. She has set up the first goal for Carly Lloyd, and the number 9 of the United States scores the second goal, and it is 2-0. And then Carly Lloyd with the most aesthetically pleasing goal of the match. A great golazo from long range. There was nothing Elvira Todua could do. And it was 3-1, or 3-0, I should say, in favor of the United States in this great friendly match so far. It has been all U.S. all game so far in this encounter at FAU Stadium. The teams are getting ready to come on for the second half, but if the first half is any indication of what will take place in the second half, then it looks like it's going to be another win, and the home unbeaten streak of the United States will extend to 79 games. Last time the U.S. lost on U.S. soil, November 6, 2004 versus Denmark in Philadelphia. No substitutions at halftime for the United States. And so after the whistle is blown and the kick is made, we will review and run down the 11 on the park for the United States, and then obviously the 11 on the park for Russia as well. Carly Lloyd making a massive impact after missing the Canada game. She was suspended after receiving a red card in the Brazil game to finish the 2013 season. And she missed the Canada game, serving that suspension, and she has come back on a mission in the first half of this match. And the referee, Marie-Soleil Baudouin, has blown the whistle, and the second half has begun. The United States switching sides. They are in their dark blue kits with the white numbers, attacking from right to left. The Russians in the red kits with the white numbers, attacking from left to right. So the United States from right to left, and the Russians from left to right. I am George DeMattelis. Assisting me here in the booth is Jeremy Crumpton as we get ready to present what should be a productive and thorough second half in which the United States should wrap up the victory. They have a 3-0 advantage going into this second half. Here's Sydney Leroux sending in the service. Takes a deflection, and we'll get another corner kick to start this second half very early, strongly for the United States. Carly Lloyd, if she can get one more goal, it will be her second career hat trick. First time she did it was back in January 24, 2012. We'll get to the details of that after this service sent in by Lauren Holiday, and Elvira Todua picking it off for the Russians, looking to start the break quickly on the right side of the Russian attack, as the ball played by Katerina Dimitrenko, and Hope Solo there's no problem reeling that ball in. If Carly Lloyd can get one more goal, which she almost did, she had a shot deflect off of the crossbar right before the end of the first half. It'll be her first hat trick since January 24, 2012. In the final group stage game of Olympic qualifying against Mexico, that hat trick helped them win the group and then obviously qualify for the 2012 London Summer Olympic Games. The United States on the pitch with Leroux pushing forward as she attacks the captain of the Russian team, Ksenia Sibutovich. And now Kristen Press trying to get around Isutovich, or Sibutovich I should say, and it leads to another corner for the U.S. After this corner, we'll run down the 11 on the park for the Stars and Stripes as they prepare for what should be another onslaught of goals in the second half. If the first half is any indication, it appears that Lauren Holiday is going to step up and take this corner. Going to be right-footed, out-swinger, and punched out by Todua, and the U.S. will retain possession. On the park for the U.S., in goal is Hope Solo. The back line of Stephanie Cox, the number 14 at the left back position. The captain is Christy Rampone, and Becky Sauerbrunn, the number 4, with Ali Krieger at the right back position wearing the number 11. It appears that the goalkeeper for Russia is down, as Elvira Todua might have accidentally gotten hit in the face. Got hit in the face on that service. And she's standing up. She appears to be okay, but she's going to get looked at by the Russian training staff. The midfield, it's the number 19, Christy Mewis, in the middle of the midfield in the middle of the 4 midfield line, if you will. Lauren Holiday, the number 12, and Carly Lloyd, the number 10. And out wide on the right, the number 9, Heather O'Reilly, who in my opinion, although Carly Lloyd does have 2 goals in this match, I think Heather O'Reilly has been the Budweiser Woman of the Match. We'll see who gets crowned that label, that title, at the end of the 90 minutes. And then up top, Kristen Press, the number 23, and the number 2, Sydney LaRue. Those are the 11 on the park for the United States, coached by Tom Sermani. There's a turn, and Kristen Press with the shot sails over the goal. The Russians, they made one substitution in the 32nd minute as the number 18, Elena Medved, came on for Marina Pushkareva. So the back line for the Russians is Medved, Valentina Orlova. The captain is the number 19, Ksenia Sibutovic, and the right back, Ekaterina Dimitrenko. In the midfield, the 3 midfielders in the 4-3-3 for Russia. The number 20, Nelly Korovkina. My first little stumble there on the Russian names, but I got it, Nelly Korovkina. The number 13, Alla Sidorovskaya. Number 23 is Elena Morozova. And then the 3 forwards up top, Elena Kostareva, the number 16. The number 17 is Ekaterina Pantyukina, and the number 10 is Elena Terekova. Those are the 11 in the red and white for Russia, coached by Sergei Lavrentiev. And the number 3, that is Rampone trying to connect with LaRue. LaRue losing it, but West once again getting deep into the Russian penalty area. And finally coming up with it was Sidorovskaya, who had to drop back into the area to deny Kristen Press a chance at a shot. Press is in the middle, receiving the service. Press, and it's Carly Lloyd with the assist. And the U.S. take a 4-0 advantage. Oh, fantastic service by Carly Lloyd, and Kristen Press with a textbook technique header to find the back of the net in the United States. They get the goal scoring early here, just under 5 minutes into the second half, and it is 4-0 for the United States of America here at the stadium in Boca Raton of Florida Atlantic University. It is a fantastic goal by Kristen Press, her 9th goal in her 14th cap for the United States. The Stanford Cardinal, very proud of Kristen Press as she comes up with a big goal. It's 4-0 in the United States. They're going to get the victory here. Now, as I mentioned before in the first half, it's just a matter of margin of victory. Here's the turn, and the shot sails wide and high as the number 16, Elena Kostareva, with the opportunity. As Hope Solo, very quiet match for the U.S. number 1. He's had to do very little. Made a couple of saves, but nothing overly threatening or overly worrying for the United States keeper. And now back at the possession, looking for a 5th, is the U.S. as Stephanie Cox tried to play it long for Kristen Press, the native of California, as I mentioned before, Stanford Cardinal, getting the goal and continues to impress the U.S. coaching staff wearing the number 23. And as I mentioned in the first half, she replaces Abby Wambach in terms of the starting 11 with regard to the match against Canada. And Carly Lloyd with an assist and a couple of goals. Maybe she's going to be the Budweiser woman of the match, as it appears we have a substitution for Russia. Coming on is the number 14, Anastasia Shevchenko. And she replaces number 23, Elena Morozova. And so that is a second substitution used by Russia. Anastasia Shevchenko, wearing the number 14, is a Quaker. She goes to the University of Pennsylvania and playing for the Russian squad. Here's Sydney LaRue, gets on the end of the shirt. What a fantastic goal by Sydney LaRue. What great speed and technique. That was just a burst of energy by the Bruin. And the number 2 for the Seattle Reign makes the goals continue to rain down for the United States. It's 5-0, and Sydney LaRue with her 26th goal in her 45th international appearance. She scored the game winner against Canada, and now back-to-back games for the deadly striker known as Sydney LaRue. It is 5-0 the United States, and the rout is on. Another 5-goal performance in the state of Florida for the United States. This time it's not 4-1 in favor of the Stars and Stripes, it's 5-0. And the Russian defense, they have absolutely no answers. And as is typical of a great team, you got to pour on the pressure, you got to pour on more goals, and that is the case. So in the first half, it took the U.S. about 30-plus minutes to score the first goal. Here in the second half, they've scored twice in the first 8 minutes. And it's another dominant performance for the United States as Sydney Leroux comes up with a big goal. And it is 5-0, showing great speed. That is a number 9 type of goal. And she's at it again in the area of the shot. And Todua makes the save. And remember, for the majority of the first half, Sydney Leroux very quiet, but she did get a couple of touches, a couple of chances late in the first half, and she has carried that momentum here into the second half. In the Russian defense, they were already having to be concerned with Heather O'Reilly and Carly Lloyd, and now the two strikers up top, Press and Leroux, getting the goals as well here in the second half. And that is just a great sign for the United States pushing forward, as it is a 5-0 rout here in Boca Raton. And now can they get 6? That is the question here. Can they get 6, and can they get a clean sheet? That is going to be the concern, or the big question, I should say, for the rest of this match. This is a chance down the far right side. It's Ali Krieger looking to send in a service. And the player for the Ali Krieger for the Washington Spirit wins a corner for the United States. And so it appears that the home unbeaten streak is going to extend to 79 games as Holiday for O'Reilly. And now, great cutback move, creating some space, service inside. It's gonna fall for Leroux, but she can't get a clean touch on it. Now Kristen Press with the shot deflected, and it's another corner for the United States. And this U.S. squad, they smell the blood in the water, to borrow a phrase from Shark Week on the Discovery Channel. They smell the blood in the water, and the Sharks are creeping, and they want to finish this game off strong. The United States, they can sense it. They're going for goal number 6. This one is a service to the top of the 6-yard box, but the Russian defense tightens up late and eventually clears it away. And now play to the far side. It's going to be a foot race, and it is won by the number 10 Terekova after Rampone came over, but Rampone getting some help from Lewis, and it is settled for Stephanie Cox, and the U.S. will regain possession. And so the winning streak, or the unbeaten streak, I should say, is going to, appears to, that it will extend to 41 games, 35 wins and 6 draws. Barring some unforeseen miracle, the United States are going to win this game, and as I mentioned before, extend that unbeaten streak to 41 games. Last time the U.S. lost the match, 1-0 versus Japan in the Algarve Cup. The national team record is 51, so they are just 10 games away after this result. As I mentioned, barring some unforeseen disastrous collapse, they will be 10 games away from the national team record set between December 2004 and September of 2007. Another corner kick for the U.S. And the fans here at FAU Stadium supporting U.S. soccer, they have witnessed, they have been entertained, they have been able to see the treat. And, well, there goes number 6. A mistake by Elvira Todua, and Kristen Press gets her second goal of the match, second in the second half, and it is 6-0 for the United States. And the Russian side look completely dejected at this point as the United States just continue to pour on the pressure. Kristen Press in the right place at the right time, and now she has 10 career goals for the U.S. senior national team in just 14 appearances. That is an amazing strike rate for the number 23 and the future Chicago Red Star. And now we get a double substitution as Amy Rodriguez is going to come on for Sydney Leroux. Rodriguez wearing the number 8, and the world record holder number 20, Abby Wambach, will come on for Kristen Press, who just scored. And so, make matters worse for the Russian defense. They have to deal with the greatest goal scorer in the history of women's soccer, Abby Wambach, and she's fresh. So the substitution is taking place in the 59th minute. Amy Rodriguez in her 104th international appearance, wearing the number 8, former USC Trojan and now with FC Kansas City. And of course, Abby Wambach appearing in match number 214 in her fantastic, illustrious career. 2 strikers up top, replaced by 2 more strikers. That's the aggressiveness being shown by Tom Sermani. Oh, there's a big save as Todua comes up big and denies Amy Rodriguez an early goal as she has just come on. And now Mewis looking to play it inside for Wambach. Wambach with her familiar number 20 shirt. The former Florida Gator, which pains me to say, myself as a Hurricane, but a fantastic goal scorer nevertheless, regardless of what college she came from. She has been a fantastic player throughout her great career. The great Abby Wambach now in the lineup for the United States. And now spinning Carly Lloyd. Assist, 2 goals. She has been brilliant for the United States. And this one long for Wambach, almost chases it down. But it's going to be a goal kick for Russia. The Russians' all-time record versus the United States, 0 wins, 1 draw, and 5 losses. And it appears that it'll be 1 draw and 6 losses. Last time, the only draw between these 2 nations took place in August of 2000. It was a 1-1 game in the very final start of the great Michelle Akers' career. That was back in August of 2000, so almost 14 years ago, the last time that the Russians did not lose to the United States. The only time they did not lose to the United States. We'll see if these 2 teams will meet up in the 2015 World Cup. We shall see. Russia in a tough group. As I mentioned before, in the first half, they're in Group 1 behind the Irish and the Germans. And they will have a corner kick opportunity. It's Ekaterina Pantyukina that will step up into this one with her right boot. Hope Solo having to deal with the sun a little bit. This one filters through, but no Russian player can make contact. And now the United States, let's see if they can break out quickly. And they're unable to do so. But Pantyukina trying to send in the cross, looking for Ostareva. But ball gets away from her, and the U.S. will have an opportunity to recover. The pitch here at the stadium of FAU has been absolutely magnificent. It is an immaculate pitch here at the stadium, obviously the home stadium of the FAU Owls football team as well, American football. And even though the wear and tear of a soccer match has taken place, this pitch has been in excellent condition. It's a great venue for soccer here in Boca Raton as the United States get a free kick opportunity. And we get another substitution here for Russia as Elena Kostareva is going to come off, and Svetlana Sidikova, the number 4, is coming on. So Sidikova
making their 3rd change. Russia substitution in the 63rd minute. Leaving the game, number
4 for Russia can add a little spark to the squad coached by Sergei Lavrentiev. Right now, she will have to defend a set piece by the United States. It's Carly Lloyd and Lauren Holiday. Holiday playing it out wide for Lloyd. Lloyd, left-footed cross inside, near post, punched away by Todua, and eventually cleared away. So 3 substitutions, by my count, 3 substitutions for Russia in this match. While the United States have made just 2, with Rodriguez for LaRue and Wambach for Press. And how about the substitutions for Tom Sermani, replacing 2 strikers with 2 strikers. Then play the games of being defensive, got to continue the mentality, the mindset, and the depth of the players coming off the bench. Amy Rodriguez and Wambach is incredible for the United States. This is Sauerbrunn. She goes down, and the foul called in favor of the United States. It's been a relatively clean match between these 2 teams. Very few fouls, no cards to speak of. As the referee for this match, Marie-Soleil Baudouin, has really only had to just make goal calls official. Really, that's basically been the majority of her work in this match. Very few fouls. It's been a clean game as the United States dominated from the opening whistle to the 65th minute, in which we are currently in, as Wambach gets a touch. Now over the top, looking for Mewis. And Carly Lloyd comes over to clean up a little bit defensively.
Making their third change.
Big game for Abby Wambach, or excuse me, for Carly Lloyd, wearing the number 10. Heather O'Reilly is going to come off. She had a fantastic game as well. She will be replaced by Erica Timrak. Erica Timrak, another Florida Gator, playing with FC Kansas City. Spent some time in Germany with the ladies squad of FC Bayern München, FC Bayern Munich. I'm sure she received a great education there. FC Bayern, right now the best club team in the world on the men's side, after winning the treble last season and remaining unbeaten in the Bundesliga so far under Pep Guardiola. So Erica Timrak getting a little bit of that energy after spending some time there, but officially a FC Kansas City player. We'll see how that translates. That experience translates to Kansas City when the NWSL season begins. Erica Timrak coming in for Heather O'Reilly. And Timrak making her 3rd international appearance for the United States, the former Florida Gator. So a couple of Gators on the park for the U.S. national team, Abby Wambach and Erica Timrak. And here is the number 3, Christy Rampone, sending it back to Hope Solo, the former Monmouth defender, number 3, Christy Rampone. Number 2 all-time in caps for the United States. Just 53, or I should let me make sure I get my math right, 63. This is number 289 for Christy Rampone. So she is 63 matches away from the all-time leader, Christine Lilly. Christine Lilly, 352 caps. That is an amazing number. A testament to her talent and obviously her conditioning and her commitment to the United States national team, and the fact that she was good enough to play over 350 games for the team. That is a great accomplishment. And Christy Rampone still has about 60 games as a catcher. That is a number. Amazing number. And is this going to be a number 7 for the United States? Oh, that was a pretty slick back heel by Rodriguez. And Wambach is there to increase her world record as she scores goal number 164 in her career. And the United States, they just added the extra point. It is 7-0 for the U.S. And the goal scored by Wambach, and pretty slick back heel there by, appeared to be Amy Rodriguez with the back heel there. But Abby Wambach, she scored a lot tougher goals in her career. Very smooth and simple, easy goal for Abby Wambach. And she scores those in her sleep. That is a fantastic effort. The Russian defense got caught off guard. They thought that the U.S. was going to be offsides on that far side, but flag stayed down, and Rodriguez with a smooth little back heel. And Rodriguez wins the ball again. She goes down, and the referee, Marie-Soleil Baudouin, whistles a set piece, and we are going to get a straight red. Wow. Straight red given to the number 3, Valentina Orlova. And now the Russians, down 7-0, have to play the rest of the match, the final 22 minutes. One player down, one woman down because of this tackle here by Valentina Orlova as she brought down Amy Rodriguez. That is the breakaway rule to deny a goal-scoring opportunity, especially if that defender is the last player, and that is the case. The rule says straight red on a breakaway last player goal-scoring opportunity, and that was the case. And now Russia down 7 goals and down a player. Oh, there's a bending set-piece free kick by Carly Lloyd, and Todua has to punch it out. So one of the big central defenders for the Russians is out of this match with a straight red. And things just keep getting worse and worse for Russia. And it's going to be a set piece just outside the penalty area. And the first yellow card of the match. And frustration starting to settle for Russia. It appears to be number 17, Katarina Pantyukina, going into the book. We'll make sure we confirm that for you. Is the number 17, it appears it was the number 17, Katarina Pantyukina, committing the foul. And now a chance for the U.S. to make it 8. Touchdown and a safety. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, the Super Bowl just passed, and so I still have that in my mind a little bit. But the United States with a chance to make it 8. This one's sent in over the top. Oh, elevating and just missing the header was Amy Rodriguez. And the FC Kansas City player almost scoring what would have been the U.S.'s 8th goal of the match. Instead, it's cleared away, and it's a corner kick for the Stars and Stripes. This is an impressive performance by the United States. Here's the corner. Outswinger. Too far from Ewis, but Cox is going to chase it down, but it will not count because there's a foul in the penalty area, and Russia now down to 10 players will have to find a way to build up their attack somehow in order to get a goal, make it somewhat respectable, something to preserve a little bit of their pride here, as it has been the United States dominating from the very beginning, from the opening whistle. It appeared that the Russians just really never had a chance. As we sail past the 70th minute, the United States have the 7-0 advantage with 2 goals by Carly Lloyd, an assist by Carly Lloyd as well. Heather O'Reilly has an assist and a goal. Sydney Leroux with a goal, 2 goals by Kristen Press, and then Amy Rodriguez with an assist to Abby Wambach, as Wambach scoring the 7th goal for the United States. And well, they're on the move for 8th, as it is number 17, Timrak, hanging out wide for Krieger. And it's going to be settled by the Russians as the number 10, Terekova, goes down. The referee says play on, and now it's Mewis. Mewis with the shot right at Todua, and she has had a lot to do in this match for the Russian goal, as Sergei Lavrentiev no longer standing up in the coach's technical area. He's just going to sit down and think about what strategy Russia will have to employ for that second game at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta in 4 days' time. 7-0 between the United States and Russia. The crowd here at FAU Stadium, they have been witnessing, they have been delighted with the show that the U.S. team has put on in this encounter. Wambach elevating, can't quite control the header. And Butovic clearing it away, but the U.S. still dangerous. Mewis goes down, but the referee says play on. She's asking for a foul, does not get it. And now Russia. It's the number 20 for Russia, Korovkina, unable to control, and Sauerbrunn. Sauerbrunn and Rampone, very little to do in this match. It has been all attack for the U.S. So Timrak showing some moves there, getting inside. Twisted the hips to try to get the service in, but deflected away last minute by the number 18, Medved, Elena Medved, who came on as a first half substitute. And now the substitute for the United States, it is going to be Rapinoe. coming in for Stephanie Cox. And the announced attendance for this match here at FAU Stadium, 8,857, an excellent crowd, making a lot of noise as Megan Rapinoe has come in for Stephanie Cox. So a defender comes out and a creative midfielder comes in. That is a fantastic indication of Tom Sermanni's mindset going forward. Wants to continue to put pressure, score more goals, give the U.S. attack more confidence going forward. Russia making a substitution. Number 8, Karina Blinskaya is going to come on.
Russia substitution in the 75th minute.
And
number 10,
Elena Terechova comes off.
Replaced by number 8, Karina Blinskaya.
So Karina Blinskaya, another substitution for the Russians. Blinskaya listed as a defender, and the number 10 Terechova a forward. So you see the defensive substitution for Russia as they try to prevent more goals. In the U.S. with the one-player advantage, the one-woman advantage, taking off a defender, bringing on a forward, trying to score more goals. As got to play till the 90 minutes, and even if you have a 7-0 lead, you don't want to play back and just continue to kill the clock. Got to score more goals. That is what the people want to see. A lot of goals, and the U.S. providing it in this match. In the 75th minute, an opportunity as the ball sails over the head of Megan Rapinoe. Took a touch off of a Russian defender, so we'll get a corner kick for the United States. These two teams will play, as I mentioned before, we'll play again 4 days' time in the Georgia Dome, and we'll broadcast it for you here on ussoccer.com. Rapinoe keeps it low. There's a spinning effort there to send it toward goal. Todua getting a touch to clear it away. It was Sauerbrunn who got in and almost put together a little bit of fantastic goal. Oh, there's a chance. Rapinoe off the crossbar. Chasing it down is Lloyd. The United States still in a dangerous attacking position, but Lloyd cannot keep it from going out. And Rapinoe almost scoring maybe the best goal of the match. There's been 7 to choose from. That Carly Lloyd goal in the first half from long range, that was a spectacular strike. The first one by Carly Lloyd. But, or I should say the second one by Carly Lloyd, that long distance effort from outside the penalty area. That was so far the best goal of the match, but that one almost takes the cake by Megan Rapinoe. Rapinoe wearing the number 15, playing in her 20th, or I should say her 77th international match, former Portland Pilot. And now the player formerly known as Rachel Bueller, now known as Rachel Van Hallebeck, comes on. And she replaces Becky Sauerbrunn. And Sauerbrunn, very solid in defense, but didn't have to do too much as her midfield and forwards took care of business early and often in this match. So Rachel Van Hallebeck, another Stanford Cardinal, playing for the Portland Thorns, the NWSL champions. We'll see if they can repeat their championship run. U.S. making 5 changes, 5 substitutions in the match, and the Russians with 4. Still have 1 more for the U.S. and 2 more for the Russians. Let's see if Whitney Engen gets into the match here. And here's a break for the United States. This one played long, looking out wide for Rapinoe. But the number 7 of Russia, Ekaterina Dimitrenko, clears it away. Megan Rapinoe is part of that Olympique Lyon squad that reached the final of last season's UEFA Women's Champions League, only to lose to Wolfsburg in the final. A surprising result considering that the women's squad of Olympique Lyonnais Olympique Lyon, maybe the most dominant team in club football in Europe in the women's side. They were expected to win that game, but Wolfsburg taking down Lyon, and Megan Rapinoe part of that Lyon squad. Wolfsburg going on to win the treble in women's club football in Europe. They won the Frauen Bundesliga. They've also won the UEFA Women's Champions League, and then obviously the DFB Pokal Women's Cup in Germany. So German trebles all over the place in 2013, 2014, or I should say 2012, 2013 with Bayern and then Wolfsburg on the women's side. Here is Timrak, who played, as I mentioned before, with the women's side of FC Bayern. Here's Rapinoe. Rapinoe working the 1-2. There's a touch in the shot, and Tadua has to keep it out. Fantastic effort by Amy Rodriguez, the number 8 for the United States, and it's another corner for the U.S. And they have 18 shots on goal in this match. 9 corner kicks. An unbelievable, a devastating performance, or actually now with this one, 10. Double digits in shots, double digits in corners, and who knows, they still have about 10 minutes left to get double digits in goals. We shall see. As we are flying past the 80th minute, and the United States getting ready to officially make it 41 in a row without a loss and 79 in a row at home on U.S. soil without a loss. All these matches getting them ready for the Algarve Cup that will take place in the beginning of March. That is the other major international tournament on the calendar for the U.S. outside of the World Cup. The Algarve Cup taking place in Portugal. They are in a tough group too. They have Japan, Sweden, and Denmark. The United States are the reigning champions in that tournament. They won 3 of the last 4, including the 2013 edition. And here's a chance for Rodriguez. The flag stays down. Wambach cutting in, now swerving back toward the middle. And Rodriguez trying to connect with Wambach, but it is kept out, and it's another corner for the United States. Rapinoe in the area as well. Carly Lloyd, the number 10, lurking at the top of the, just inside of the top of the penalty area. So the United States looking to make it 8. Let's see what they can do here. As Rapinoe is going to take the corner kick. Right-footed low near post. She cleared away, but it is a foul. And it is committed by the number 16 who just came on, Rachel Van Hallebeck. Before she took her husband's name, she was Rachel Bueller, known affectionately as the Buelldozer. And she kind of crashed into the Russian defense there, committing the foul. You need defenders like that that can get physical, aren't afraid to get physical. And she certainly will have an important part in the defense for the United States, Rachel Van Hallebeck. And so Russia finally with an opportunity to build their attack in their offensive half. It's been a carbon copy. The second half has been a carbon copy of the first half. The only difference is there were 4 goals scored in the second half, and the U.S. scored 3 goals in the first half. So the second half, just in terms of goals, has been much better, or not that much better, only 1 goal better, but still better for the United States than the first half. But they figured out the Russian defense very quickly, and now Wambach. Flag stays down. She's one-on-one against Tadua, but Tadua beats her to the ball. And it is Wambach once again threatening the defense, but she is unable to catch up to that service, that long ball. And now with the Russians, a man down, or a player down, I should say, it is tough for them to cover all the spaces. They leave more holes in the defense because they are a player down, and the United States already having no problems breaking down the defense when it was 11 on 11. It's going to be a lot easier now that it's 11 on 10. And you consider that it's Abby Wambach running out of defense. Ooh, that is going to be scary. Wambach has the 7th goal for the United States in this match. And to continue on about the Algarve Cup, they start their Algarve Cup defense on the 5th against Japan. Then they take on Sweden on the 7th, and then they finish the group stage against Denmark on the 10th. They've won 3 of the last 4 titles. They have 9 overall. They are the team with the most Algarve Cup championships, with 9 out of the 21 that have been played, or the 20 played previous to the one coming up in 2014. So we'll see how that plays out when that tournament begins in March. And obviously, the big one for the U.S., the 2015 World Cup in Canada. Speaking of Canada, they will play the Canadians again on May 8th. It's just been announced they will take on Canada in Winnipeg. So we'll see if maybe Canada can exact a little bit of revenge after losing to the U.S. 1-0 a couple of days earlier in Frisco, Texas at Toyota Stadium. Here's the service sent in. Wambach! Oh, the spectacular overhead kick. Or as my Spanish-speaking brothers and sisters would say, a chilena. And Wambach almost scores a spectacular goal. Trying to get to 165. She has 164 after scoring in this match. And a fantastic effort by Abby Wambach. And the service played in by Amy Rodriguez. So almost 9,000 people showed up for this encounter. 8857 is the exact number. And they have been treated to a great show of attacking prowess and skill by the United States. And what's the most encouraging part about it, it wasn't an athletic advantage. It's a skill advantage that the U.S. had. They were able to dribble. They were able to keep the ball at their feet, time the runs perfectly, as Rodriguez is doing there, although she just can't catch up to it. And then the finishing has been excellent. And when you consider that they struggled the first 30 minutes to really turn up the finishing, that was the problem in the first 30, 35 minutes of the match. Scored 7 goals in about 50 minutes, because the first goal came on the 29th minute. So he scored 7 goals in just about, we're in the 86 minutes, so you're talking about quick math, 56 minutes, something like that, quick math. So 7 goals in a span of, I should say, 48 minutes. So that's quite a strike rate for the United States. It's been an excellent display for the Stars and Stripes, and it's looks like it's going to get better. Here comes Rapinoe. Rapinoe has Wambach open through the middle, lays it off for Timrak. Timrak with the shot, takes a deflection, and we're going to get a corner for the U.S. As we wind down this match at FAU Stadium, it is the U.S. in firm control of this encounter. And Tom Sermani, his record since taking over officially on the 1st of January in 2013 is about to go to 15-0-3. Another substitution for Russia as the number 9, Alena Andreeva, is going to come on.
Russia substitution in the 88th minute. Leaving the game, number 17.
And it is the number 17, Ekaterina Pantyukina, that comes off.
Elena Andreeva.
And so Elena Andreeva makes the substitution, comes on for Sergei Lavrentiev. And the corner kick played in and punched out by Todua. And here's a break for Russia. An opportunity for the Russians. This is the service sent in. One-on-one. Solo! Does enough to prevent the shot to go in. And the Russians miss their best chance to prevent a shutout as the shot goes wide. It was the number 9 who just come on, Elena Andreeva. And for the first time in the match in the 88th minute, the United States get caught napping in the back. And Elena Andreeva, just fresh off the bench, almost scores. It was a great pass by Kanita Blinskaya. And Hope Solo, the first time she's really been pressed into action, comes up and doesn't have to make the save because the shot goes wide. But she did put pressure on Andreeva, and that might have been enough to prevent the goal for the Russians. But Finally a chance for the Russians in the 87th minute, and they just cannot convert it as the U.S. trying to get the clean sheet as well. Here's Rapinoe, the number 15. The Seattle Reign midfielder. Timrak trying to get around Medved, unable to do so, but the U.S. retains possession. And so, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere, because after the match, after the final whistle here on USsoccer.com, we will have an interview with the Budweiser Woman of the Match, who is the number 10, Carly Lloyd. She had a fantastic match. In the beginning, I was voting for Heather O'Reilly, but Carly Lloyd came on strong, almost had a hat trick, and definitely worthy of Player of the Game, Woman of the Match status. And so we will have that interview with her after the final whistle. 3 minutes of stoppage time here in the second half, added on by the referee, Marie-Soleil Baudouin. An all-Canadian crew for this match is Wambach with the header. And couldn't keep it down. It's still an excellent chance for the world record holder, Abby Wambach. So the big stars for the U.S., Wambach, Rapinoe, Rodriguez, they have been influential since coming on in the second half. And the young talents, Lewis, as well as O'Reilly, they have been excellent as well. And the future is looking very bright for the United States. Here's Lauren Holiday. Very quiet match for Lauren Holiday. Not that she hasn't played well, it's just her role in the midfield, kind of that fulcrum. Hasn't had that too many shots on goal, but she still has played very well. As Rapinoe trying to filter through for Wambach, but Wambach was offsides, and his pass is intercepted by Sidorovskaya, the number 13 for Russia. Lauren Holiday, the former Bruin, in her 96th international appearance for the U.S. Here's Rapinoe with the long distance shot, and it goes just wide. Almost a spectacular long range effort by Megan Rapinoe that goes just wide. It might have grazed the outer edge of the post. And the United States trying to get maybe that 8th goal before the end of the match, but unable to convert. Megan Rapinoe, she had plenty of space, but just couldn't tuck it in that far post there. But a great effort by Megan Rapinoe. So the number 1 team in the world, the United States, establishing their dominance as they win, or they are about to win 7-0, unless they get another goal here in the final few minutes of second half stoppage time. 18 shots on goal, 12 corner kicks. Some of the stats for the United States in this encounter, but the most important one, 7 goals. And a brilliant performance all around by the United States. And I think they figured out the Russian squad very easily. Oh, this is a great through ball by Wambach. Timrak goes down, no penalty given, and the Russians are going to clear it away here, as it is Sibutovic clearing it away. And we have a player down in the penalty area. Wambach and Timrak putting together very skillful sequence, skillful passing there in tight spaces. And Timrak almost gets the shot on goal, as Medved is the player down, the number 18. Elena Medved. She came on as a substitute in the first half, 32 minutes in. And she replaced Marina Pushkareva. Remember, she came in because Heather O'Reilly was burning Pushkareva on the right side of the United States attack, the left side of the Russian defense. And so Sergei Lavrentiev put in Nedved to try and slow O'Reilly down. Didn't work. O'Reilly got an assist and a goal in this match and was massively influential in helping the U.S. to dominate Russia in this encounter. And so
making their final
FAU Stadium, last game of 2012, the United States won 4-1 versus Canada, or excuse me, versus China. And they score a lot more goals in this game, almost double, as they won that match against China 4-1. And they're going to win this game against Russia 7-0. Final substitution here for Russia. It is going to be the number 11, Anna Sinyutina, coming on for Nelly Korovkina. As the Russians may be wasting a little bit of time here. As hard work through the midfield by Nelly Korovkina, but unfortunately for Russia, unable to really produce anything through the midfield that would give Russia a goal in this match. Wambach trying to get the touch to Carly Lloyd. Let's see if Carly Lloyd maybe can get a late goal here for a hat trick. As the United States putting pressure, and it deflects for Rapinoe. Rapinoe saw Wambach in the area, couldn't quite connect with her, and it's going to be a throw-in for the U.S. Wambach back out to Rapinoe, and it's going to be a corner as Nedved, or excuse me, Blinskaya, the number 8, asking for a goal kick, but instead it's a corner. Played short to Holiday. Back to Rapinoe. Inside, Wambach elevating for the header, and it sails straight into the air, and Todua comes up with it, and foul going against the United States. So Russia going to get this goal kick, and the Russians will have to regroup, get ready, and see what they can do to improve after losing this match 7-0. They will have another encounter in 4 days' time at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. Ladies and gentlemen, Marie-Soleil Baudouin has blown the whistle to end the 90 minutes in the United States. They dominate Russia. 7-0 is the final. 3 goals in the first half, 4 goals in the second half. It is a thorough annihilation by the United States of Russia. And we'll see what they can do in the second game in Atlanta. We'll see what the United States can do in the second game if they have to improve anything. It was almost a flawless match, pretty much a flawless match for the United States in this encounter. As Tom Sermani and Sergei Lavrentiev shake hands. I'm sure Tom Sermani is very pleased with this performance. Maybe was expecting something a little bit tougher, but the United States really dominated this match from beginning to end. And so FAU Stadium proving to be a fortress for the United States. In the last 2 encounters here, 11 goals, and they've only allowed 1. And that was in that match against China at the end of 2012. So the United States well on their way to kind of fine-tuning Tom Sermani's 4-4-2. They've got the finishers, they've got the wing play. Seems like they have the defense as well. Perfect, near perfect match for the United States. And don't forget that on the 12th of February, a Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern in Atlanta at the Georgia Dome, the U.S. will take on Russia in the second of the 2 matches between these 2 clubs. You can watch it on ussoccer.com. Great performance by the United States as they put on a show for the near 9,000 people in Boca Raton at the FAU Stadium. So a recap of the goal scorers. Carly Lloyd opened the scoring with a great assist by Heather O'Reilly. O'Reilly scoring the second goal. Carly Lloyd with a fantastic goal for the third goal for the United States. That was 3-0 at halftime. And then in the second half, Kristen Press with a couple of goals. Sydney Leroux sandwiched the goal in between the 2 Kristen Press goals, and then Abby Wambach finishes the scoring in the 67th minute with an assist, a smooth little backheel by Amy Rodriguez. That proved to be the difference for the United States, who extend their unbeaten run to 41 games. They extend their home unbeaten run to 79 games, and well, the numbers just keep racking up. 18 wins, 4 losses, and 1 draw, all time in Florida. And they are still unbeaten all time against the Russians, as it is now 6 wins, 1 draw, and 0 losses against the Russians. So the number one team in the world, they continue to move forward and continue to set records. And they are now just 10 games away from tying the all-time national team record for the longest unbeaten streak in the history of the U.S. women's national team. 51 games and they are 10 away. And now Carly Lloyd. We'll interview Carly Lloyd, the Budweiser Woman of the Match, for her 2 goals and assists in the game against Russia. Let's hear the words of Carly Lloyd.
Carly, you didn't get to play against Canada in our last match, serving a little suspension. Did you have a little pent-up energy today, perhaps?
Of course. Disappointed I couldn't play. Really happy to play anything how they came out against Canada, and I was bottled up with a lot of energy today. So it was a lot of fun, good performance, good crowd, and happy to be a part of it.
I don't know if you fans can see, but Carly's sporting a little bit of a shiner. Her eye was totally closed about a week ago. Are you glad it opened up for this game?
Absolutely. I'm not going to name the person that hit me pretty hard, but a younger player did it. But no, it was a nice big shiner. Just glad it could open up in time for the game, and good performance today. Had fun, and I'm sure I'll have to fly back.
And lastly, just a word about another great crowd here in Florida, cheering you guys on to a victory, and one of the biggest victories staying UEFA team in U.S. history. Talk about the crowd.
You guys are what keeps us going. The NWSL will be kicking off this season as well, so we hope that you guys follow and tune in and come to some games and keep up to date with us. Thanks again, you guys are awesome.
Carly Lloyd, the world's #1 ranked United States women's national team.
That concludes today's event here at FAU Stadium. U.S. Soccer thanks you for coming and asks that you arrive home safely.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, another dominant performance by the U.S. They win 7-0. Carly Lloyd, the Budweiser Woman of the Match, well-deserved. An assist and a couple of goals. A pure number 10 performance by Carly Lloyd, the Rutgers Scarlet Knight, in her 163rd game, scoring 2 goals for an international total now for Carly Lloyd of 48. And she was magnificent as the Western New York Flash midfielder, helping the U.S. to an impressive result against Russia. So they will play the Russians again in 4 days' time, next Wednesday, February 12th, in Atlanta at the Georgia Dome. And you can watch that game here on ussoccer.com. The crowd here at FAU Stadium still here, still excited to see their idols, looking for interviews and pictures with the great players on the U.S. national team as they get ready for a big calendar 2014. They have the Algarve Cup, they have World Cup qualifying, and a bunch of massive friendlies as well. As I mentioned, the match against Russia, and then in May they will be taking on Canada again. So it is going to be quite a year for the United States women's national team. And on ussoccer.com, you can follow all the events, all the news surrounding our national team. Abby Wambach getting a goal as well, and a magnificent atmosphere in a magnificent stadium in Boca Raton for FAU. They have to give much credit to FAU for providing this great facility, immaculate pitch. Even after 90 minutes of running up and down, this pitch looks like it is in amazing shape. And it has been a pleasure to call this game here in Boca Raton as the United States wins 7-0. And a lot for Russia to think about come February 12th, 4 days' time, when they go to Atlanta to face the same team again. We'll see what changes Tom Sermanni makes from the lineup as that traditional 4-4-2 coming back into style in world football, world soccer. And the United States, they worked it to perfection today against a Russian side completely and thoroughly outclassed by the United States. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you very much for joining us here on ussoccer.com for this encounter between the United States and Russia. I want to say a special thank you to Jeremy Crumpton, helping me in the booth with the stats and helping me out as well with the location and helping me spot action going on here at FAU Stadium. I am George DeMattelis, and once again, I'd like to remind you to visit ussoccer.com to get all the latest news about our national teams. The final score from FAU Stadium in Boca Raton, United States women's national team 7, Russia 0. Second game will be February 12th in the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, and you can catch it on ussoccer.com.
For Carly Lord on her left, sensational goal. Gonna go, keeper's out, that's empty, LaRue, U.S. leads. It's offside, it's Raquel, stopped again by Solo. Womack, goal number 159. It's the international scoring record. And the U.S. begins this journey to the 2015 World Cup